Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about bariatric vitamin requirements and what to expect. Welcome back to my channel. In case you don't know, I am about 6 weeks post-op from a gastric bypass that I got in Tijuana, Mexico on December 1st, 2020. And I decided I wanted to put together a video with a little bit of information about vitamins. I've stuck my nose into a few different places around the internet that have bariatric communities, and I see time and time again there are so many questions about what to expect when it comes to your vitamin regimen after surgery. So I thought I would give a little bit of information, some of the research that I've picked up over the last several months, but also explain what my vitamin regimen is. So for a little bit of context, if you don't know, vitamins play a really important role after weight loss surgery. The two most common types of weight loss surgeries are the RNY Gastric Bypass and the Vertical Sleeve Gastrectomy, known as VSG or just the sleeve. They've both been done so much. They're completely acceptable forms of weight loss surgery, and I'll be putting together a video at some point with the differences between the two surgeries and why I chose bypass over the sleeve. But in terms of vitamins, what you need to know is that one surgery is a malabsorptive procedure and the other is not. With the gastric sleeve procedure, the surgeon removes about 80% of the person's stomach. And what you're left with is essentially a pouch or a tube shape of your stomach, which basically just connects your esophagus down to your intestines. This procedure leaves pretty much everything intact, except it lobs off a chunk of your stomach, so you physically cannot eat as much. What that means in terms of vitamins is that you're going to be taking in less food and less calories and therefore less nutrients. So it's really important to make sure that you're on top of your vitamins after surgery, because those vitamins are really going to help supplement what you're missing in your diet. Even if you eat as healthy as possible, you're just not eating the same volume that you were before, and you don't want to fall behind on any of your vitamin levels. The gastric bypass surgery, which is what I had, is a little bit different, and it is a malabsorptive surgery. Instead of removing a chunk of the stomach, what the surgeons do is they actually separate out a chunk. So you end up getting left with a smaller stomach size, just like you would with the sleeve, but they actually don't remove the rest of your stomach. But then the main difference with the gastric bypass is they actually reroute your intestines. So the bypass is named because you are bypassing the first part of your small intestines. They take a portion of your intestines further down past the duodenum and they attach that to your new stomach pouch. In addition to physically not being able to eat as much, just like the sleeve, you have the additional portion where it bypasses the first part of the intestines, which is where a good chunk of digestion and the majority of your calories are absorbed. That's great for weight loss in the sense that you physically cannot absorb the same amount of calories that you are eating because your body is bypassing the section of the intestines that's going to do a lot of that work. But what comes with that is the fact that you also can't absorb nutrients and vitamins from your food in the same way. Vitamins play an even more important role when you have the gastric bypass because of these two things combined and the fact that you just can't absorb the same kind of vitamins as before from your food. Vitamins are extremely important just in general, but especially after weight loss surgery for either of these two procedures. So it's really important that you do establish a vitamin routine and you stick with that daily for the rest of your life after surgery. But again, just for clarification, because I had the bypass, my vitamin regimen and my recommendations are really kind of based around that idea. So I actually filmed a video right before surgery, and I was still in pre-op, and I was discussing vitamin samples and what I was doing to prepare for trying to figure out what kinds of vitamins I needed to take after surgery. And not only what kind of vitamins I needed to take, but preparing for the idea that some vitamins just might not sit well with me, or my tastes might change and I might not like some of the things that I purchase. I opted to get samples from a few different companies so that I had some things to choose from after surgery to figure out what fit best. So I'm actually going to play some of that footage right now because I think a lot of that is important information on what I would recommend for planning for post-op. Instead of buying a bunch of vitamins and not really being sure what you're going to handle or what you're going to like, I thought this was a really good option, and I think it really helped me post-op. So roll that beautiful vitamin footage. The first thing that I can say about vitamins after bariatric surgery is that you should definitely be talking to your surgical team about it. There's a lot of information all over the internet, so you can find a lot of stuff about it, but I really would take the advice of your surgical team specifically on what you should and shouldn't be taking. I went a little bit crazy recently and I went and contacted a whole bunch of companies to try to figure out if they do offer samples. What people say a lot of times is that the vitamins that they're taking start upsetting their stomach and they don't know what to take and they don't want to invest a lot of money because these bariatric vitamins aren't really cheap on a whole bunch of vitamins that they're not going to be able to take. Some companies offer sample packs that you could purchase and they will just deliver you a small little sample pack that you can go through. And some companies you actually can contact and they'll give you free samples. I do not have all of them, but I have a few that I wanted to share. So the first company that I went to was actually Bariatric Fusion because I have been having their protein powders in my smoothies every morning, and I've been thoroughly enjoying the taste and not disappointed at all with the products I've had so far. So what they offer on their website is a $20 sample bag, and so it comes like this. I mean, it came in a box, but it comes in this little bag, and they have quite a few samples of various different products. So the things that came in the Bariatric Fusion sample pack were 3 samples of their protein powders. They provided 1 multivitamin capsule, and then they provided samples of 4 of their different products in different flavors. So we have a cherry and a grape iron soft chew, multiple different flavors of calcium soft chews, multivitamin soft chews in mixed berry, tropical fruit, and cherry pineapple, and then multiple different flavors of their general chewable multivitamin. So I have plenty of these to really see if they upset my tummy at all or if it's something that I like the taste of and settles well with me. And I'm pretty excited about that. The next company that I got a sample from was another purchased sample. This is from Celebrate Vitamins, and their pack is about $10. But what's nice is it comes with a coupon on the back. So if you like the products and you order non-samples from them, then you actually get the cost of this pack off of your order, so it ends up being free. That's kind of a nice little opportunity in case I do end up ordering from them, but I feel like $10 for what they gave me was a really good price. I'm pretty sure I got quite a bit more than Bariatric Fusion. The bottom of the bag has a bunch of their soft chews. It seems to be mostly iron and calcium, but there is 1 grape multivitamin chew in here. Now the Celebrate vitamins are huge. Pretty much everything they sent me is a chewable giant tablet. So this one is a calcium in cherry tart. This is a multivitamin in orange. This is a calcium in berries and cream. This one's small. What is this? This is vitamin D3. It's a berry quick melt. So it looks like it's just one that melts in your mouth. Iron plus vitamin C. There's a lot of them and they're all individually wrapped. So it's kind of a mess over here. One of the unique things that I got from Celebrate was a multivitamin with calcium and fiber that is kind of like a Crystal Light. It's like a citrus drink pack. So you would put this in water and mix it up, and it's a 3-in-1 citrus splash flavor. So that one was interesting, and I didn't realize they had this on their website. So that would be a pretty interesting way to have your vitamins in the morning if you end up liking the taste of that. And then they provided me 2 powders. One is a chocolate milk multivitamin protein shake is what I'm assuming. It doesn't have any stats or information on it. It literally just has chocolate milk stamped on it. And it looks like this is a half of a serving for the sample. So one of the things that I am excited about is I got a savory option from Celebrate. So I got their chicken soup.
sample. Celebrates also came with a lot of information, and there's a lot of pamphlets and a lot of stuff out there that tells about their different products and also different amounts that you should be aware of when you're taking the multivitamins and things like that. So I'm pretty happy with the options that Celebrate provided for only $9.95.
Thanks, past me. So now that I am post-op and I have established a vitamin regimen, I thought it would be helpful to explain what the nutritionist sent me in terms of recommendations and also what I am taking at this point. So here's the information that I was emailed by the nutritionist, and this was for starting week 2 after surgery. You really want to give your body not only a little bit of chance to heal, but also the fact that you really should be taking vitamins with food, and it isn't until week 2 that you can start thick liquids. You want something with a little bit more substance in it when you're starting to take vitamins, because it'll not only calm your stomach a little bit better, but it will actually help with absorption. When I started vitamins on week 2, I started with the samples that I had received in the mail, and I was not necessarily paying attention too much to what the amounts were, what the dosage was, as much as trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work, what made me feel sick, what things didn't taste very good, and just trying to establish that first week what I actually wanted to do. I found out pretty quick post-op, since they had me on omeprazole once a day, an antibiotic once a day, and a blood thinner, that I was able to take pills and I didn't need a chewable form of something. So because I was having no problems with the pills that I did have to swallow, I was given one sample of a bariatric multivitamin that was a swallowable capsule, and I tried that one day after trying all the different flavors and different kinds of chewable vitamins, and I found that it really didn't bother my stomach at all. So I found that I have really leaned towards Bariatric Fusion products during pre-op and post-op. I really have found that they have sat really well with me, they taste really good, and I've had a good experience with them. So like I said, I am taking their swallowable capsule. They are relatively large, but they go down very easy, and they have never bothered my stomach at all. That's just me personally. I know that there's a lot of people who do run into issues with swallowing pills and just taking vitamins in general after surgery. So that's really something that you're going to have to experiment with and figure out what your body can handle. Along with the multivitamin, I also take a probiotic every morning. This was something that was recommended during pre-op to start doing before surgery, and then it was recommended to continue doing afterwards. A probiotic really helps with your gut biome and your digestion, and considering all the wires have been crossed and everything's been changed with my digestion, I figured I could probably use all the help I could get. This is what I've been taking, but for some reason it's not available anywhere for me to get this on auto shipment every month, and I'm not sure why. So I actually ended up adding a probiotic to my Bariatric Fusion monthly subscription, just because it was convenient and they were already shipping me out vitamins every month, so I might as well just get my probiotic from them too. Now I spread my vitamins out throughout the day. I did notice that the first day that I took vitamins, I took everything all at once right before breakfast, and it made me feel really sick. Not only is that something that obviously I want to avoid, but absorption is going to be better if your body isn't trying to absorb all of it at the same time. So I do try to spread mine out throughout the day, and I try to take them around meal times so that I do have food in my stomach when I am taking these vitamins. So around lunchtime is when I take my second dose of vitamins, and so this one is iron. So the irons come in a cherry soft chew. I don't want to say they taste like candy because they're not really like that amazing, but they are sweet. They taste like cherry. They're very easy on my tongue. They taste pretty good, and it gives me 45 milligrams of iron plus 60 milligrams of vitamin C. With the iron at lunchtime, this is when I usually will take my biotin and my folic acid. These two are dissolvable in the mouth, and I usually will take them slowly over time after lunch at some point. The biotin is strawberry burst. It actually tastes really good, and you just let that dissolve in your mouth. And then the folic acid is a sublingual, so you put it under your tongue to dissolve. It helps with the absorption that way, and it's also like a sweet fruity kind of flavor. These two are optional for me. These are related to skin, hair, and nails. I'm essentially taking these to help prevent as much hair loss later on in this process as I can. I do know that simply taking these is no guarantee that I'm going to avoid the hair loss problem, but I was taking them before during pre-op, and I'm just going to continue to take them now. I don't see there's any reason not to, and they've actually really helped my skin and my nails be a lot clearer and a lot stronger. In the late afternoon, I take my omeprazole, which has been recommended to take for at least 3 months after surgery. Gastric bypass doesn't really have the notorious heartburn and acid reflux that the sleeve can have, but it was something that was recommended, and I just picked up a 3-month supply while I was in Mexico. So I've been taking that at 3 p.m. pretty much every day since I got released from the hospital. And so at that time is when I take my sublingual B12 supplement. B12 is a pretty important vitamin, and this one is something that you'll see a lot of information about all over the place, especially all over the Facebook group that is, I guess, the support group for Mexico Bariatric Center. The vitamin requirements specify that you can take either a sublingual or a nasal spray, or you can inject the B12. This is a hot topic, so let me just get this out there. I've done a lot of research and I've read through a lot of scientific studies. There's really no evidence that a B12 shot in your butt or your thigh is really giving you any more absorption than, say, a sublingual pill that just goes under your tongue and tastes like cherry. What I err on the side of is talk to your doctor before you go to the pharmacy in Mexico and purchase a 3-year supply of B12 shots. If you're the kind of person who just feels more comfortable with that, you're okay with injecting yourself, and you'd rather do it that way, by all means, do what you want to do. But the evidence and the scientific research out there shows that it's not necessary, and people will make you think online that it is necessary that you inject yourself with B12 for the rest of your life after surgery. So then around dinner time or right after dinner, I'll take my last couple of vitamins, which is my calcium citrate and my vitamin D. It is recommended to take those two together because they actually help each other be absorbed in the body. So if you're able to take them together, then you're going to have a much better outcome. I purchased my calcium soft chews, and these are the caramel flavor. They have quite a few different flavors, and this one, again, it doesn't quite taste like candy, but it is pretty caramely and pretty good in terms of what vitamins taste like. And they're about the same size as the iron. And then in terms of vitamin D, I'm actually just taking this generic Kirkland vitamin D that I got and I've had for a while. And the reason I decided to keep taking the vitamin D that I already had was because it was already a pretty high strength, and I felt like it was probably still something that I could continue taking for now. Those are the vitamins that I take throughout the day. And what I really want to make clear is that I have yet to get my first checkup and blood work with my doctor. So it's recommended that you get your first checkup with your PCP at 3 months after surgery, and every 3 months for at least the first year, you get blood work to check on your vitamin levels and adjust accordingly. I'm taking all these right now, but it doesn't mean that these are the doses or the kinds of vitamins that I'm going to continue taking in the future, especially if any of my labs come back as being too high or too low. The most important thing is that you are regularly going to your doctor every few months and you're getting your blood work. You don't want to be deficient in any of these vitamins. Vitamin deficiencies can cause a lot of serious problems. So it's really important that you're staying on top of it and you're keeping that communication open with your doctor. If you get your surgery out of the United States, like I did in Mexico, this is on us. We need to make sure that we're staying on top of this and that we're following up with our PCP. If you're getting your surgery in the United States, let's say your insurance covers it, then you'll have a bariatric team of medical professionals that will be following you through at least the first year after surgery. And they're going to be monitoring your blood levels and everything like that. But because I went out of the country for this surgery, it's on me to make sure that I am visiting and following up with my PCP regularly to monitor those levels, because no one else is going to have those follow-ups for me. Ultimately, no matter where you go for your surgery team will give you discharge paperwork that will include what types of vitamins you should take and what the recommended doses are. So for the first 3 months after surgery, just follow what those recommendations are that you got from your medical team, and then follow up with your PCP and see if there is something that needs to be adjusted, because everyone's different and everybody might have slightly different absorption and possible deficiencies. So it's important that you just follow up and adjust accordingly. Hopefully that was helpful, because I know that there's a lot of questions about vitamins, especially because it's really pushed as being something so important to remember to do after surgery. If you have any other specific questions or anything about vitamins, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll do what I can to try to find out the information for you if I haven't already done the research on it. And I encourage you to do some research on your own too, and just try to get as much information as you can about these things before you even go into surgery. That way you can be prepared and not have to really think about it post-op. So thanks so much for watching, and go take your vitamins if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I forgot to show off my fun vitamin containers. Look at, and they have these little push holes where you're able to put your vitamins in really easily. And then of course they come off. And so I literally take one every day and I put it in my bag. And so I always have it with me no matter what I'm doing or where I'm going. I also really like that they're large and they can accommodate a lot of vitamins, or if you have the really big chewable ones, they fit really well. And they're just really easy to open up and take out for the day. So I've been really enjoying this one. I'll put a link in the description to the one that I specifically got on Amazon, just in case you're interested.